fills. In this lesson, we're going to look at some fills that pair with the grooves you learned in the previous lesson. When you first look at these fills, you're going to notice that none of them are complicated, which is kind of the point. There's not a lot of fills that are going to work in a ballad that would be considered weird and syncopated. You got to just dumb it down sometimes. These are fills that are simple and effective, and they're going to work really great in a rock ballad. Lots to take a look at in the first one. Basically, it's just big eighth notes played as a crescendo. What is a crescendo? It generally refers to the idea of going soft to loud. So it's eighth notes. You've got the bass drum, the snare drum, and the floor tom. You've got all three drums hit together. So make sure that those drums are hit exactly together, not like together. Now the trick is getting it from soft to loud. It sounds simple, but you have to really practice this stuff. So here we go. Here's what that fill is going to sound like. 2, ready, and play, and 1. With a crash right at the end. One more time. 2, ready, and play, and... Now let's try that with a click track with 1 bar of time played right before it. 1, 2, ready, and play, and... Now let's try the same thing with our loop. Moving right along, example number 2. This is just a tiny little 16th note fill on beat 4, just 4 E and a 1. You want to hit that crash with the bass drum on the next downbeat, which would be beat 1. Here's example 2. 1, 2, ready, and play, and... Now, same deal with the click track. Relax, remember. 1, 2, ready, and play, and... And finally, the same example with the musical loop. Example 3, another idea of just a little drum fill right at the end of a 2-bar phrase. And we're going to use our cross stick, which means we have to go from this to that in a very short time. I'll show you what I mean. Here's example 3. 2, ready, and play, and... And now, same idea with the click. 1, 2, ready, play. And now let's try that with our loop. right along, example number 4. This is a little bit more of a syncopated fill. It's short, but the way I'm going to play this is going to be mostly with just my right hand. I'll play through the example and I'll tell you afterwards why it is that I do that sometimes. So here's example number 4. 1, 2, ready, and play, and... A lot of the time, I like to keep those types of fills with just one hand, because if you do something with just your right hand, for instance, it forces you to play something that's very stripped down and simple. It's a one-handed drum fill, but that's a lot more complicated than I'm making it sound. It's just that if I play my right hand, if I do it with just the right hand, it just forces me to not play too many notes. So let's play that same example. Let's play the same example with our click track. 1, 2, ready, and play, and... Now let's play that with our loop. Example number 5, another very simple yet slightly syncopated drum fill. It's important on these to relax. Remember our word of the day, relax. So here's example number 5, played with some time, and I'll play the little fill at the end. 1, 2, ready, and play, and... So what you may have noticed just now when I played those flams on the snare and the toms was I did them all as right flams. A right flam is where technically the left hand plays first. I know that's confusing if you're new to the idea of playing a flam, but a right flam technically is where the left hand is the grace note. And a left flam, the right hand is the grace note. But in the case of rock and roll, we do a rock and roll flam where there are no grace notes. Both notes are equal. Right? So the way I'm playing it, I choose to use a right flam on those types of fills. You could do a left flam, you could do a mixture of both. It's just important to decide which one you want to do. What you want to avoid is hitting the sticks at exactly the same time, because that'll choke the drum. See, to me, a true flam sounds better. So just a little word of caution. Figure out which type of flam you want to do first. So now here's that example with the click track. 1, 2, ready, and play, and... And now, same deal with our musical little loop. So, your assignment for this lesson is to practice all 5 of these rock ballad fills with the metronome and with the loop tracks. As you practice, try playing 2, 4, and 8 bar phrases to really bring some context to these fills. That's what we want to do. We want to put ourselves into a hypothetical musical situation. If you just practice the fill alone, you're not practicing getting in and out of it in the context of music. So, Have fun with these, and I will see you in the next lesson where we'll dive into some 3/4 rock grooves. All right, can't wait.